What's up? It's Saturday, May 28th, 2016. My name is Arthur Palick, and today we're going to talk a little bit more about your boxing stance. We're going to focus on one portion of your boxing stance, and that is your back leg. If you're a conventional fighter, it's going to be your right leg. If you're a southpaw like me, it's going to be your left leg. We're going to focus on your feet and how you can establish a stance with your back leg that will allow you to move much more easily in the ring and be much more efficient for you when you're in the ring. So let's get to it. Today what I want to focus on is your back leg. That's all we're going to talk about today. So for you southpaws, it's going to be your left leg. For you conventional fighter, it's going to be your right leg. So for conventional fighters, if you're looking at me, pretend you're looking in the mirror and try and replicate exactly what I'm doing. One of the problems with being flat-footed or being flat-footed in the ring is that it doesn't allow you to move as quickly as if you're not flat-footed. And by flat-footed, what I'm referring to is not that you don't move around the ring a lot and you're on your toes constantly. What I'm referring to as flat-footed is having your back leg, having the heel dug into the ground, having your heel constantly in contact with the ground. So what that limits you to doing is it doesn't allow you to move as fast as you would if you were on the ball of your back foot. Because when you're on the ball of your back foot, what will start happening is it allows you to turn much easier. All I did was enable my hips to move forward and I turn. Now, if my heel is in the ground, it's not that easy to do. It's going to take time, and it's going to waste time. And if you're in the ring, you do not want to waste time. So if your heel is dug into the ground or planted into the ground, it's much more difficult to turn because your bottom foot still has, the bottom of your heel has to come off the ground for you to turn. Now, if you still have your heel nailed to the ground and you try and turn, it's not going to work that easy. You're just going to lean forward. So that's the importance of keeping on the balls of your foot, especially your back leg. Keeping that back leg anywhere from a half an inch to an inch off the ground and digging that ball of your foot into the ground because it allows a pivot point. So it allows you to move this way and this way. I'm not even moving my front leg. Everything's coming from my back leg. Moving this way, moving that way. Now if I dig my heel into the ground, I'm going to move, but my hips aren't moving. And it's not a comfortable movement. So the key is to keep your heel slightly elevated and dig the ball of your foot into the ground. Because when you're on the ball of your foot, it allows you to move back and forth much quickly. And it also allows you to transition from one side to the other side very easily. It allows your knees to track, whereas if you're on your heel, your front knee will track, your back knee will track a little bit, but it's not very comfortable. And it's a waste of time in the ring, and that's the last thing that you want to do is waste time in the ring. So the easiest way to think about it is when you're in the ring, you've established your stance, you're rocking back and forth and you've established your stance, just pretend that the ball of your foot is anchored to the ground. But it's anchored in such a way that you can move it from this way to that way. But you're always bouncing off of the ball of your foot. You're not going to bounce off the heel. Not going to bounce off the heel. There will be times that you may need to stabilize yourself because all your weight will shift to your right leg or left leg. But that's only time that you don't want to be on the ball of your foot is when all your weight shifts towards the left side. The importance of this is it allows you to move. Move quickly and move efficiently. And that's what boxing is about. It's about being efficient in the ring with the tools that you have. And you have feet and you have legs. So when you establish your stance, ensure that the ball of your foot is dug into the ground. It allows a pivot point for you to move back and forth. It allows your hips to move freely because you're not locked into the ground by putting your foot into the ground. And the other thing with keeping on the ball of your foot is that you have the ability now to step back quicker. And you can step back quicker if you're on the ball of your foot. If you're on your heel, you have to lift your whole leg up. Whereas if you're just on the ball of your foot, it's a quick step back because you're ready to move backwards or forwards if you're on the ball of your foot. Today, just think about this. Drive your ball of your foot into the ground. Keep your heel off the ground unless you're shifting your weight all the way to one side. Think of if you're moving out the way, you're gonna shift all of your weight to your left side and your heel's gonna have to support that weight. But it's not gonna happen if you have your heel in the ground. You need to pick your foot up. You need to pick your foot up. Whereas if you're on the ball of your foot, you can slide it and it's barely coming off the ground. Thanks for watching. If you have any questions or comments, leave them down below. And don't forget to share or like this video with your friends.